All right, chat. There's a little something I wanted to talk about, and that would be picking a main in a fighting game. Before I actually start explaining how to pick a main, I think it would be important to establish what a main actually is. A main in a fighting game is essentially the character that you're going to be playing the most, right? 90% of the time is going to be spent on that character. So it's pretty important to actually pick your main diligently because you're going to be spending a whole lot of time with them. So the first thing to keep in mind, I think, when picking a main in a fighting game is just pick the character that you think is the coolest looking character, the character that has the coolest moveset, the character that just you relate to the most. I think is more often than not going to be the character that you enjoy the most. Now this might seem like common sense to certain people, but is generally something that some people overlook. Okay, so Johnny, I mean, yeah, if you think Johnny is cool in Guilty Gear, that's a perfectly fine reason to pick that character. There's more to it than that. I think that's the most important thing, but often there won't just be one character you think looks cool. When you look at a roster, you might find multiple characters that you think are pretty cool. You know, I mean, here on this roster, I think Jin is cool, I think Kazuya is cool, I think, you know, Hwoarang looks pretty cool. There are multiple characters that I think are pretty cool looking and that I could definitely see myself playing. What you essentially want to do is, yeah, like pick out 5 or 6 characters, however many characters it may be that you think are cool. And then from there, you're going to want to try out all these characters in training mode. 10, 15 minutes of just like playing these characters in training mode, just figuring out what moves they have. They're getting a general feel for the characters, their special moves, all that, the way they feel. It's just going to help you kind of narrow down your options. So then if let's say you pick 5 characters that you like, and you're like, okay, 3 out of those 5 characters I don't like as much as these 2 characters, just based off of their special moves and the way they feel. Since you have only 3 characters left, 2 characters left, however many it may be, usually it's a low number, you can actually put a little bit more time into those characters to actually get much more of a proper feel for them. So kind of like the second step of trying them out, but just more in depth. And you don't have to do it for super long. It could maybe be for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. Try playing a couple games with them, try learning some of their combos, and then once you have a better understanding of those couple characters that you have left, then you can finally choose your main. A final point that I would like to make, and I think this is pretty important to keep in mind, when you're choosing a main, don't be afraid to just commit to a character if you're not sure, because sometimes you have to commit to actually know if you don't like that character or if you like them. So just don't be afraid to do it. A lot of people are afraid to commit to certain characters, and that's just, you can't be, because sometimes it's necessary. You have to commit to him super hard, but sometimes you gotta put a couple days in just to figure it out, sometimes even more. Tier lists, you don't really have to worry about those too much when you're starting off, I think. But if you're looking to maybe play a character in the long term, then you might want to at least keep it in mind. But like I said, you don't have to worry about only picking characters that are super top tier, because the thing is, what matters the most, right, when picking a character in a fighting game, at least when you're starting off, your general enjoyment of the character and the game, you want to pick the character that's going to actually keep you playing the game, and give you the best experience, I think, when you're new. Well, to sum that up, select multiple characters in the roster that you think look the coolest, however many that may be. Try to keep it small, and then try out those characters, all of them briefly, 10-15 minutes, narrow it down to 2 or 3 characters, and then once you have it to a low enough number, then give those 2 or 3 characters more time, 30 minutes to an hour, give or take. Get a real feel, play a couple games with them, get a real feel for these characters. And then from there, you should be able to find the character that you like the most. And, obviously, don't be afraid to commit either, because sometimes you do have to do that. That about sums up this video. thank you for watching it all the way through. It's very much appreciated. This is being streamed on twitch.tv/TheRealRocky. A link to that is going to be in chat, not in chat. A link to that is going to be in the description. So feel free to check that out. So yeah, this has been The Real Rocky, and I'll see you guys in the next video.